Hello everyone. Today I have with me Aditya Nayak, founder of Farak, and Mr. Shobit Malia, Chief Advisor Farak. So I would like to ask Aditya, what is Farak?
Now, Farak is something that started as a news media organization which consisted of youth, primarily my friends. And what we did was that we tried to improve or create a society with greater political, social, and economic consciousness. For which we started off with a blog page where we posted a lot of blogs. We reported events which are important for the society. And at the same time, we also thought at organizing events, primarily literary events, which helps the youth develop their vocational skills like the public speaking skills or the documentation skills or the crisis management skills. So this is how we started off with Farak, and that was the primary idea. Now, initially, what started off as a news media organization has slowly evolved into a youth organization.
So I would like to ask Shobit Malia, how did you get this idea?
Now, the idea came primarily from Aditya because we had been in contact with each other since we had participated in debates, and that is where he started pitching me the idea along with other fellow teammates who aren't actually there right now. But considering that fact, the main idea that struck me was how we are trying to build in a community or a platform where people can actually, as mainly as youth focused, how can they actually exhibit their talents? Like, how can they make good use of whatever the talents they have? It might be what he mentioned, it might be public speaking, vocational skills, or any of that sort. Now, we have youth focused on such talent that we don't even know that maybe my own neighbor with some kind of talent, I would be not knowing what exactly it is. So that is where the idea struck off, where he wanted to build in a community rather than just a social media page, focusing on how we could make a good use and make sure that they are getting the right platform to exhibit their talents.
So Aditya, it was your idea. So would you like to say something about it?
So the idea primarily came up when we think of the fact that we look at the society and we think that we need to make a change. We need to make a change and we constantly need a change. When we feel the requirement of the change, we must also take the initiative to make the change. Or else the change does not take shape until and unless you stop yourself at recognizing the need for a change. You need to allow it to evolve and then focus at processing it and then execute it finally. So that if you cannot make a major difference or an impact, you at least make a dent is what, because obviously if when you're thirsty, even if you don't get a full glass of water, a half glass still suffices it.
And Aditya, what are the tasks and programs which you have taken as a part of Farak?
So as a part of Farak, we have two major highlights from the previous time. We are supposed to relaunch now, but from the previous strides that we had. So the two major programs was that we covered the case or the protest of the Neville Fernandez issue. Now the Neville Fernandez suicide was a great outbreak and caused massive outcry because of the sensitivity of the case and how the suicide took place and how educational institutions could also force a student clearly by humiliating him to take his life, keeping everything at stake. Now that was our first highlight, and it was up to a massive success because we even approached authorities concerned like the DCP and the ACP of that particular concerned area. At the same time, we even protested outside the DC office for the purpose. And the second event that we organized was for the youth. It was called Kurukshetra. Now Kurukshetra was a collection of about 10 or 12 events, literary events primarily, right from ranging from crisis management to treasure hunt or debate or anything that helps a person, an individual, grow their vocational skills. Now this was set in such a manner that a person can take part in 2 or 3 competitions at the same time, which helps him get exposure of 2 or 3 of his skills, and he gets to know where he stands in front of a wider range of competition. So that is how Kurukshetra was built, and it took place at Canara College in the year 2018 on the 25th of November. So these were the two events or the two highlights from the last time we took shape with Farak.
So Shobit, the question for you is, how did you undertake Kurukshetra?
Now, Kurukshetra, I would say we had a lot of flaws. Agreeing on that point, because with even 2 weeks of planning, we had executed Kurukshetra. We even approached nearly 25 to 30 schools in and around Mangalore. trying to convince them, because even the time was during exams, and also people were going for field trips and all. So that's why we had to convince these students to actually come. And I guess within 2 weeks of marketing the entire event, and also within 2 days of going around schools of Mangalore, we managed to get around 200 participants in the event itself. I guess as a first chance, it was a pretty good result that we had got. And considering that we had 12 events, which also included cultural events as well, it was well organized because of the team that we had, and also the way we wanted things to go. It actually went that way, because we see events where you have a huge plan and it doesn't get executed, and you feel guilty among yourself. But I guess that didn't happen, because we had a plan. We didn't have a master plan. We had a plan A and a plan B, which we used for backup. And I guess both were executed perfectly in order for the smooth functioning of the event. Now, I would like to even add that, see, considering the number of participants that we have got, and also how, even if we had a small team, the organization and also the functioning of the event took place very smoothly, so that we actually weren't burdened in any way. Because Aditya was judging a particular event, which was the debate in which even I had participated, and we didn't have any problems considering what are the other teammates doing. The teammates were actually given enough responsibilities to be conducted or doing during the event, or conducting other events that were there in that Kurukshetra. But we weren't actually in a phase where what is happening there, but we knew that okay, this is happening there, and we are well known and well versed with it.
So to correct Shobit, we didn't get 1 week of time, we got 2 days of time, because the venue got finalized 2 days before the event.
Exactly.
And we went to about 50-60 schools in just 2 days, including one of those days was a weekend. And we went to these schools and we asked them, and yet we got about 200 participants on the day of the event at a subsidized registration fee. And along with which, as Shobit said, we even had cultural events for the people who wish to pursue cultural events. So as a whole, even if we did suffer financial losses or some kind of financial detriment, there was some satisfaction, and I guess that is major. Satisfaction, human satisfaction is more important than financial gains, because at the end of the day, if you satisfy your object of making a change in the society, I don't think financial gains matter. And that is the ideals or the principles on which Farak is founded on.
So you heard the problems from Aditya Naik. So what were the personal problems which you faced, Shobit, during Farak?
During Farak, one was, I would just point out the marketing aspects, because as mentioned by Aditya, we had nearly 2 days of even executing the plan, because we had a plan, but which was completely basic. We didn't know what events would be happening, where exactly would be doing the event. The location wasn't finalized, but we had a plan of doing Kurukshetra. The name was finalized, but whatever was happening, that was not finalized at all. So I guess that was the major drawback of how Farak could be better, and we are even having plans of conducting the second version of Kurukshetra anytime soon, maybe once the lockdown scenario is completely done. And we are thinking that we would be coming up with a master plan where we have enough time for marketing, enough time for planning, and enough time for execution of the plans. So yeah, that's it.
So guys, this question is for both of you. Why did you take a break from Farak?
I'll answer first.
Yeah, fine.
So, post Kurukshetra, now Kurukshetra though was an event that probably made a great change in both of our lives, because we understood the primary aspects of management, most importantly management, time management, or be it marketing, or be it even organizing a particular event in a particular sequence within a particular time frame, with given the limited resources. So these are the factors and these are the resources that we managed, and yet we managed to come up with a sustainable event. But if you look at the repercussions of that particular event, now considering that we are set up as a non-profit organization, and considering that we are an organization which talks about a neutral perspective towards news or events or anything of that sort. Now when you have a neutral perspective, the main problem that you have is that you do not have any backing. And when you do not have any backing, especially political backing, which need not be said, what happens is that you are not backed. When you are not backed, the things come that you have to take your initiative yourself. And when it came to me, I had to take the initiative myself, and I had to fund the event myself, considering that I did not get any institutional support or political support or any financial support in any manner. which is why it did take a toll on my financial condition at that point of time, considering that I was still studying and I was not even in my undergraduation. So the financial toll is one of the reasons why we had to stop operations at Farak, and at the same time we did have certain, now when there is an organization, it consists of people, it does not consist of one individual, and even if there is a leader is not successful when he cannot take the team along with him, and when he cannot delegate the work or delegate the task to the team and understand the condition of the team well. Now, as in the perspective of a leader, I think I failed at that point of time, because I could not hold the team together, and I chose to walk alone. And that is, I think, by far the worst approaches that you can have in team management. That is, having the leadership or trying to build a scalar chain which will eventually crumble if you have bad communication problem or if there is a communication gap. Shobit.
Yeah. So now I would like to deal with the second phase of why we had to take a break. Now, since I'm coming from the creative field, we often go with something called as a creative block. Now, a creative block is a phase where you don't get ideas. You get ideas, but then you still feel that it's not of use. You feel that you aren't doing anything useful. You feel hopeless about yourself. And that is something we went through after Kurukshetra. Now, during this moment, we had plans, but then we didn't know how to execute it, or we didn't know if it was efficient or effective enough in order to take that as a step in the organization. Now, on that note, we had a phase of problems where, even considering we had a financial problem, because he took a major blow with that, and also when the team wasn't going well, we kind of came in a situation where we didn't know, we thought we were hopeless over there. Because you never know if the team isn't there with you, and he is walking alone, you're in different paths, you never know what you're supposed to do. Even if it's an organization, even if you're having a mission and an aim in front of you, you don't know how to execute it. And that is where the team part plays a major role in having, especially a non-profit organization, because in one side you're not having financial income or inputs coming in, and you don't have outputs also going in, because you're in the place where you don't know which side you're supposed to go. And that is one of the major reasons where we thought that, okay, now it's a time to take a break. Let's come back with a plan, making sure that even though we are having such an event and we even have a financial blow, we'll be ready to face it. We'll be ready to make sure that any step that we take will be good for the organization. That also tags along with the entire team.
So Aditya and Shobit, they are relaunching Farak on July 15th. So what are your views on the relaunch, Aditya?
To be honest, as Shobit said, that we'd be coming up with a better plan the next time after we took a break. To be honest, me as an individual, I thought that the story of Farak was over right there after Kurukshetra got over, because that when you go through failures, now as we go through books and we talk about failures of an individual, we talk about how that person has evolved after suffering so many failures in life, or after suffering a big failure, as people call it. But no one tries to understand that mental health is one of the major factors that needs to be considered when a person is trying to get up. Now, after Kurukshetra and after looking at the turnout and the losses that we suffered, now the mental state took a major blow, considering that on one side you did feel that you achieved something. On the other side, you were in clear debt. Now, taking both of them into consideration, you need to take a break. You cannot walk further when you're completely exhausted. And by completely exhausted, I don't mean physically or economically. I also mean mentally exhausted. Now, when a person cannot use his brains or cannot use his creativity, it creates a creativity block, like Shobit suggested. And when that happens, I thought we probably should not go further with Farak, considering the fact that it's a non-profit organization, and if you have a neutral perspective, then you are bound to suffer. But it's again Shobit who did come back to me, and he was pestering me for months together that let's come back with Farak. And probably after 4 or 5 months or 4 or 5 times of him pestering me that let's do it again, we did come up with a plan, and that plan evolves every time I call Shobit. So I call him up, and we speak for about 2 hours, and then we have a plan. And about 2 or 3 days of introspection, we get to know that plan is faulty. then we come up with a revised plan, then we come up with another revised plan. So this evolution has to be continuous. Now, as soon as a person or a leader in an organization says that I have this plan, let's do it. I guess that's the worst approach, because until and unless you discuss it, and until and unless each and every team member agrees that we have to take up this, we should not go about a plan. Considering that we get constructive criticism and at the same time some valuable inputs. Now this time, what the approach that we have is that we have a better plan, both to financially back ourselves, because we are also independent individuals right now, because we have completed our secondary education and we are into the undergraduation field, evolving into professionals. And what we want to do is we want to help the youth community. We want to help our community out in order to become self-sufficient and self-reliant. And we're going to take certain steps along with the content that we are going to post to educate and make them socially mobile. So this time we are coming up with a better plan. We are going to relaunch on the 15th of July. And 2020, yes, not the next year. So that is my take on it, and that is my take on the relaunch. I think Shobit has more to say about it.
Adding to what plan we are talking about, I guess majority of the plan had been completed under this roof, because I used to come here every Sunday. We used to sit and we used to plan maybe a 4-hour session, and 3 hours we used to enjoy, and 1 hour we used to come up with a plan which is productive. I guess that's the main scenario when you're having a brainstorming session, as I can say, because when you're having a brainstorming session, you end up actually being productive at the end moment of this of the entire time constraint, and that is where things went along, because as you say that there is this flow of mind or flow of thoughts, as we say, that made sense, because when we started talking, we started discussing all these ideas, and also faulty ideas, as we are saying, because 1 week I used to come, we used to discuss something, and the same night we used to have a call and we'd be like, no, this is not going to work. So that is the phase where we knew that we were getting productive enough, because we are coming up with plans, even though those are faulty, but we're making sure that we are having necessary changes that will be a well executed plan, that could be well executed. Now on that note, we even had a phase where we are getting together with the thoughts that we are having, the plans that we are having, and then we knew that there is that confidence that comes into you, where you know that you have a plan that can be executed well, and then that is why we came up with a Farak relaunch, because we were nowhere in the scenario of relaunching Farak, and as Aditya mentioned, we were in the verge of actually putting a full stop to Farak. And I guess that there is that particular time where you understand that this is not the end, but the plans that you make, it completely depends on you, like how the team interacts, how they get in the flow of your mind or your thoughts, and that is the base to actually have the Farak relaunch taking place.
Guys, what are your plans post relaunch?
Post relaunch, as of now, what we planned is that we are going to mobilize our social media handles, and our social media handles will not be confined to Instagram, Twitter or Facebook, but it will be expanded further. The ambit will be expanded to LinkedIn. Since we are building a youth community, we do not aim at just entertaining the youth, but also helping them get better at their own skills or in a professional perspective. And that is why LinkedIn comes into the picture, where it helps them build a portfolio and also network with people important to the respective fields which they want to get into. Now, that is the first phase, or the first strata that we are aiming at, to mobilize the youth socially, and not just social media, but actually socially. And the second strata that we are aiming at, as Shobit said, that we are going to come up with the revamp of Kurukshetra itself, and we might come up with Kurukshetra 2.0. But considering the conditions around us, considering we are amidst a global pandemic, we also aim at not just having a physical setup of Kurukshetra like we previously had, but also we could even come up with the online versions, as a lot of competitions are taking online, and the learning should never end. Just because the schools have taken a vacation or the universities are closed, I think learning should be continuous, and the knowledge should be mobile. And that is what we are aiming at in the second strata, that is to come up with events. And at the third time, we'll be even having social campaigns. We'll be even speaking of causes. But we're not only having the educational perspective into consideration, we'll even keep the recreational perspective into consideration. For which, previously we were just political or talking about economic issues or something of that sort. But now we are even going through pop culture, or we're going to recreational fields, and I guess that should get better attention of the youth, because that is what they primarily dig. But at the same time, there should be some simultaneous learning, so that a person's uh, pursuit of searching content on social media should be productive. And that is our plans post relaunch, and I guess Shobit can add further.
Yeah, now while talking about what will be our plans, the plan is to actually see, when Farak was started, we've tried to focus on having a news outlet organization where we are trying to give in political news, trying to give in economic news. But then this sudden transition of how we could actually build a community of the youth, trying to form a youth organization, plays a major role and is a very critical job to take place. Because see, while we're talking about youth, as Aditya mentioned, they need knowledge. Because while you're going from the undergraduate field to the professional field, you have that sense of you need to know about the current affairs. You need to know, make sure that you're not just familiar with the syllabus of your notes, you're not just familiar with whatever political news is happening right now, but also other recreational features, like it may be pop culture and any of that sort. Now that is what we're trying to focus on, how we could actually make sure that youth gets completely, it's utilizing the features that we are trying to present in the plan. It might be through social media pages, it might be this recreational post that we're coming up with, or even the news post that are looking forward to put in the social media platforms. We are looking at how every post that we are having in these platforms can be utilized by the youth to actually enhance their knowledge. It might be in any field, irrespective of, it can be political, it can be economic, or any recreational platforms. We are trying to make sure that not only how could we actually engage the youth in other topics other than politics. Now, because that is what the current youth is focused on, where everybody is ranting about one another and everybody is ranting about one political party or the another. But what if we are able to make sure that they are ranting about something other than politics? Now, that is the main plan that we are having, and I guess that is the only intention or the main reason on how we can actually approach the youth right now. Because knowledge is power, as we say, and knowledge cannot be bought. And we are making sure that this knowledge that we are gaining right now is gained from the right platforms on the right topics.
Lastly, Aditya and Shobit, what is the message that you would like to give to the youth?
The last message that I'd like to give on an individual note is that you need to take initiatives in life, be it at any point of time. That is what I've learned from starting Farak. Now, in the course of starting Farak, and I guess even Shobit would agree that we had a lot of obstacles or difficulties coming our way, knowing that the people surrounding you have different political affiliations. And it is our duty to respect all of them, because we cannot force them to change. A person needs to evolve with his own ideology, and we need to give them the chance to do that. But at the same time, what he cannot do is he cannot change people who have been living with that for decades, living with the same constant ideology, and we need to respect that too. The only scope for change is among the youth, and that is why primarily Farak is a youth community. Now, if you look on the other side of it, if you look at parents, relatives who tell you that if you take up such an initiative, you might face some obstacles, you might face threats to your own life, or you might even face failures, and people for you to taunt you for the rest of the life. But the point is, everyone loves Bhagat Singh, but they do not want a Bhagat Singh in their own household. And I think that is a quote that answers all of the queries or all of the questions or taunts that come on a person taking initiative. Be it in a political field, be it in a social arena, or be it in any arena where a person is trying to strive individually to come up in life, people will throw taunts at you, people will throw accusations or threaten you with failures. And I think if you fall for it, and if you sit quiet, then I think that will be the worst decision you take. But at the same time, even if you give it a try, and if you fail, I think you learn a lot from the failures, and in the course of failures, you learn a lot of things, like Thomas Alva Edison said. He failed 1,000 times when he tried discovering the bulb, but he found 1,000 ways to not actually do the bulb. Now, when such things happen, when failures come, often they give you an opportunity to not do the same mistakes with something big coming up in your life. And if you commit mistakes when you are young, it gives you more years to develop on it and to turn into a successful professional at a young age. It could be in a professional field or in an entrepreneur field. Now that is my take on or my message for the youth, and I think Shobit has a lot to say in that perspective.
Yeah, sure. I definitely agree with Aditya on whatever points he has mentioned, but I would like to even add one point. Since we are in the youth, we find youths in many fields. It might be science and technology, it might be arts and humanities, and we find these youth having achievements in these. But what is actually stopping them? Because see, if I'm in an undergraduate field, I have so many streams that I can choose, but that is where the confusion part comes into picture. Because today's youth are not sure what exactly they want to do. You might see quotes from Google, be firm in your decision and you will succeed in life. But for yourself to be firm in your decision, first you're supposed to make a decision. Now that is a very critical action that you're supposed to do, because your entire life may depend on it. It might be when you're talking about law, and here Aditya is not restricting himself only towards criminal law. He might be even dealing with bankruptcies or any kind of other crimes that are happening in today's world. Now, as an engineering student, I would not make sure that I will just stick to C programming. I might go to Python, I might go to even AI or machine learning or any of that platforms that are currently there. Now, that is the phase where we're supposed to make sure that we get that particular kick we talk about. It might be that vibe that we connect with that particular concept, because that is where you will understand that, okay, this is something I'm supposed to do in my life. This is something that I need to succeed. This is something that can be the mainstream that I'm choosing right now in order to make sure that after 4 years of undergraduation, I will be a successful person. I will be a successful, even if I'm doing masters on that note, I will make sure that this is something I love and will not fall in. Because you might have a lot of people who are taunting you, as Aditya mentioned, and they might tell you this field is not. If you're considering civil engineering, people tell that civil engineering, there's no scope at all. But are you sure if you're staying in the building that was built by a civil engineer and you're telling that there's no scope for civil engineering? Now that is something you're supposed to take in mind, because the opportunities that are there right now for the current generation are endless. The possibilities of what you're trying to invent or discover is endless. And that is where we tell that there is a path to infinity that you're supposed to explore over there, because there's never end to any of the platforms that you're looking at right now. It might be engineering, it might be law, it might be even BCom, for instance. Nobody has an end point where you're telling that, okay, I will stop here, I will become successful at that point of time. No. You're still learning in that stage, but then the main mistake that I have seen, I'm not an able person to tell this, but from my own experience, I'm telling that you reach to a one point and you feel that you're successful enough, but that is not the end. Because everybody is in a learning stage and nobody should stop learning, because I've already mentioned that knowledge is power. Knowledge among all the fields should be taken with you. It might be political, it might be your science and technology fields. Knowledge is the key.
And in concluding statements, to add to what Shobit has already said, that when you're talking about developing in a particular profession, the thing is, you need to try all the professions first to know that you're good at one profession. And if you try, even if you're a jack of all trades, someday you might be a master of one. And to get till there, you need to be a jack of all trades first. You need to explore all the professions. Now, even if I confine myself to a legal background, I still try to adapt, or I still try to learn some intricacies of the engineering background or the science background. Now, what this does is that it even helps me pursue cases which are related to science and engineering. Now, each and every profession is somehow connected or intertwined with another profession, and it is always necessary that you have knowledge of everything, so that someday, if push comes to shove, or if you have a situation in life which calls for certain knowledge, you are the go-to person for that. You become more resourceful. And at the same time, in concluding statements, the main thing that I'd like to stress on is that you should not surround yourself with a toxic community or toxic friends who do not help you grow, who do not help you grow professionally or as a person. Because when you have toxic friends around, people who nag you for hanging out, I'm not saying that they're bad, but for what are they hanging out, or are they doing good in life, are they professionally good? Because at this point of time, we are having an incubation phase. This incubation phase is not for a startup, it's not for Farak, but it's also of us as professionals. And if we do not take steps at this point of time in order to develop ourselves with skills, or to develop ourselves with expertise or experience that industry professionals seek at this point of time, I don't think a person is going to even become a successful human being per se if he does not develop qualities like humility, being humble, and at the same time being resourceful. I think with these concluding comments, we would put an end to the message that we have for the youth. And this is completely based on our experience. We are not quoting stuff out of Google, because this is what we've been through, and I think as the stature that we have right now and the stage of a professional that we have now, this is the message that we'd like to convey and put on record.
This was truly inspiring, Aditya and Shobit. Thanks for the message. And that's it for today. Thank you. Hope that your team performs well, and all the best for you two for the relaunch.
Thank you.